Mhm.
Hello, Kate.
Hello.
I'm glad to see you.
Mhm.
And actually, last 2, 3 days, I received an information about Kate Birch, different information, and I decided why not to call you and to discuss several things.
Yes. Yes.
So, first of all, we are going towards solar eclipse, sun eclipse, 8th of April, and we prepared the remedy, eclipse solaris in frequencies. And I was planning to give these remedies, to give this remedy in different potencies to different people with symptoms which will arrive, and I am sure, because during eclipse and during different meteorological changes, we see people react to them. And then I have heard some news about your development and your researches. So let us communicate.
Mhm. Yeah, so since the global summit last year, and your presentation on North Star, the last equinox, not solstice, the solstice, a group of ladies and myself took the North Star to see what's happening in the darkest night of the year, And right away, I had a sensation in the top of my head, and a triangle was made to these spots right here, and then across the line. And then what was also happening was many different colors in my head. And I wondered about this and spent the next day walking and realized that what had awoken inside of me was a very reptilian neurologic cells that are geolocation on the planet. So I had become really connected to my reason for taking the North Star was to find direction, find direction in life. And so
Wow.
after that experience, and considering that humanity has been somewhat lost for a long time, and none of us are seeing the stars anymore because of all the lights, and we all of our geolocation is taken over by cell phones. I, with the group of practitioners we have with Free and Healthy Children International, who did the coronavirus research, which was the mass dislocation of humanity, we gave them a gift of the North Star remedy to be taken after the eclipse. And in my also studying, what I understood was my pineal gland was activated through that process. And so I've spent some time, okay, in order to receive the North Star, your pineal gland needs to be fully operative. And what I've sent you is some links. They're sound. So I've sent you 3 links. One is I also just did another presentation on dismantling COVID. And it's bounced a little bit off of the work that happened during the global summit, but this time I also made sound frequencies of the different potencies, the 1M, 10M, and 100M of COVID while I'm presenting the information. And through that experience, people also had some of their old COVID symptoms come forward, but the other side of it was greater ease, like able to breathe and just really releasing the actual duress that humanity's been under for 100 years or more, So I got this idea that I would make a sound frequency for the pineal gland and then also for North Star as well, so people can listen like that. And I've shared you all of these on the chat. So
Very interesting, because I have heard at the webinar of Colin Griffith a few
yes,
weeks ago that he uses homeopathic remedy ferromagneticum in order to
yes,
bring back the orientation And the reason is that our pineal gland is full of ferromagneticum. And
Yes.
this orientation actually, this is a very interesting issue if you think about possibility to give back capacities for orientation to the person. You can think about different remedies from different kingdoms and from different angles. For example, you can give a silica. That's why silica? Silica most important remedy for sinusitis, and this is atavism or kind of organ which is very good developed in the birds, and they are orienting themselves in a space with this organ. So
Yes.
silica will have a difficulties to find the first stage of orientation, and orientation of silica in a line who I am. So silica is looking for orientation for identity.
Mhm.
If we think about orientation by pineal gland, this is something related to about to cosmic energies, and of course northern star Solaris sorry, northern star will bring a possibility to think, not even to think, to be a part of a direction, and this is not only about direction of one person, this is direction of the whole humanity. So
Yeah.
between silica and northern star, there are, I believe, many remedies. They will look for orientation, but from different kind.
Can you allow me to share my screen? I want to show you a picture.
Please.
Okay, let's see. So this is about, I've been getting more imaginative, and also I did listen to Colin Griffith and was really inspired. Like, many thoughts were just coming together and coalescing together. And so behind the sound frequency is this crystal grid that I made. So the pineal gland the problem with the pineal gland is we're so toxic. We're toxic with fluorine, and it's calcified the gland, so the gland is not working so much. And so I made this grid, if you can see it all.
Yeah.
So in the center is the pine cone, which pine itself is, if we were all just taking elixirs of pine, we would do so much, right? The resin, the amber, all of these. So that's like one field of remedies that are there. Then you can't really see it, but beneath the pineal gland is a leaf of gold. Gold covers the entire endocrine system and gives us our meaning, the sun, all of that in life. And then the pineal gland is heavily nourished because it's not within the meninges, it's actually outside of the blood-brain barrier, and there's a lot of blood flow that goes through there. So everything that you're saying about silica is perfect. This is carnelian, which is a silicon oxide with heme in it, iron, right? Which is carnelian, nourishes the blood and just fills that whole blood deficiency, or getting the circulation moving.
And by the way, you said silica and iron. So we have silica and ferromagneticum together as well. And the color is appropriate here. The color.
And then also, if we're going to be detoxing the pineal gland, we need the liver and methylation, because all heavy metals are also accumulating in the pineal gland. So these remedies, serpentine, it's got magnesium and many different minerals that are actually facilitating liver function. And then surrounding that, we have calcite, calcium sulfate, which is selenite, and fluorine, which is calcium fluoride. And these are calcium carbonate, the sulfate, they are helping to break away the calcium deposits, the calcification within the pineal gland. The fluorine is the most poisonous one to us because they've been fluorinating the water and so on and so forth and losing direction. Then there's a further inside these rings is just more clear quartz and some selenite, which is a strontium sulfate. And that too is blood and bones. So we want to get the calcium back in the bones, not out of the pineal gland, right? It's a disappropriation of calcium in the body. And then we have just, our sun gods and Horus, the all-seeing eye, which it's interesting. Since I've posted this, I've been seeing all these other things that are coming in together. And so this grid is behind. So then the sound frequency is a singing bowl, and I've shared you those links, and we want to share for people to listen and participate. And so that's to happen before the eclipse, as a preparation, as a house cleaning, as a doorway opening, what's happening with my pineal gland, and then the change in light. And I do believe that this eclipse is, well, the more that we dive into it in a very conscious way, the more collectively we have the capacity to transform a lot of different things.
And it's very interesting. May I ask you, I will show you something on the screen and we will continue with your screen after that. But
Okay.
meanwhile, I want to show you some very interesting rubric. I hope you will see it now. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. I took a rubric disoriented. And delusion is disoriented. We have our friend, Lux Stella Polaris.
Yes.
And that what I was reminded was what I remember from your description of how you felt after you took Lux SP. This line and triangular. This is very common to imponderable remedies in general, but especially in Lux SP. In Lux Stella Polaris, we have this triangular, and actually triangular, this is an error. You go to some direction, you show it like this sign.
Oh yeah, it's called triangulate. Let me triangulate on that. When you have 3 points like that, you can get, you find the middle.
Yeah. Now, what is interesting, if you take disoriented with everything, the most important remedy here is jade. Once more we see. And of course, we have here several more. So it will be interesting to go through them and to see the level of this impaired quality.
Can you make it a little bigger?
Like this. I can.
Soul is there. Very interesting. Lapis lazuli, is that? No, what's laclupinum?
I will.
No, make the text a little bigger. It's a bit small for me.
Okay, I will try. I will try
to do it. Okay, I got it now. I got
just a second. I will try to do it right here, and then we will see. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, and interesting. This is quite good rubric to work with. Yeah.
Yes.
Here. And interesting that dreams disoriented being. We have here lac delphinum. And orientation of lac delphinum with sound, we know this is
yes,
quite interesting in this field. So we see actually
Also, I saw this sequoia, the redwood, which they're very tall, and they are bringing down light from the heavens like that.
And actually red, once more, red color, and red color, this is the color we see on the most long distance. That's why the red color in the signal is the first one to stop you or to
Oh, I see,
close
from the
you.
traffic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So how you came to this idea to use this remedy looks SP during the eclipse?
Well, I feel like the eclipse is a new beginning. And I feel like, particularly since dismantling COVID, it's, the COVID, it arose out of a collective consciousness, a collective force and energy field that was misaligned with truth and the capacity. And so, yeah, just seeking my own self, like what gets closer to truth? What is, I'm just a physiological being, on this planet, and the planet has such a incredible magnetic system. So in the sound frequency I made for the North Star, I used again carnelian, but quartz with hematite and basalt, and all of them that iron. The way that we're connected to the magnetic field is the iron in our blood. Is the iron is all aligned and gridded on the planet based on the magnetic pull of the North Pole. And for us to be fully, like, you look at little geckos, they have their hands on the ground and they feel everything. They feel like, anyways, we're just so ungrounded, we've lost our direction. Even I would say, like, the magnetic remedy, Polus Arcticus or Australis, should be in that disoriented, because that I've seen that in some cases where things are turning backwards in on themselves.
I tell you even more. I'm preparing an article about it, and I wrote there these two magnetic remedies, and the very obvious and simple thing to understand that they connected to orientation is just to go to the proving and to see they are disoriented. They're disoriented. And in physical level, we know that this is the main remedy for ingrowing nails. Disoriented.
Turning in on itself.
Turning in. Okay, so this is turning in is to lose direction. Your direction as a nail, you should be you should be direct and not to lose your direction and twist in a. You should be direct, and this all hierarchy of disoriented remedies now come more clear. First of all, we know that belonging to the kingdom will tell us what kind of orientation our client or somebody will look for, like in silica identity, like in magnetic remedies. This is something much more than only I. It is me and the Earth as a planet.
Environment, yeah.
But in Northern Star, it is something bigger than me and time and place. Something bigger than I am a part of of Earth. This is I'm a part of cosmic.
Exactly. Yes.
Mystical thing, and the information will be much more I would say much more subtle, and the influence will help us to be directed to higher level of orientation. It's not only to come to go from this place to another place, from this person to other person. It is to go from era to era. It is like you mentioned before, COVID brought to humanity the necessity to think about new direction, and this is direction of humanity. So we have to take to consideration the levels of issue we are dealing with.
Can you share back the repertory? Because I want to say about the top rubric on there. Those look like they were radioactive remedies, yes?
Yeah,
American nitricum and hafnium. Is that
yeah,
right? So this, part of COVID is also we're in the technological age, and certainly since we, brought plutonium nitricum to the surface and started nuking people, and then all of the other technology. I mean, I since listening to the 100M of COVID, what happened to me was my mind just completely blew open, like as we go down the periodic table, we gain more and more understanding, and then into the radioactive remedies and then the actinides, but just realizing that while it is true that radiation can destroy us, our living beings, and can destroy the planet, and certainly what's been happening, the volume of radiation has been going up and up and up, that there is a level of consciousness that can happen at these greater frequencies, you understand? And in some ways, it's burning up these primal or base or more, I mean, that certainly is the origin of life. What can happen is it can just blow up everything and destroy all life. But if it's measured in a way, like how do we adapt to that? How do we acclimate to that? How do we bring in the consciousness? Like until plutonium was unearthed, we did not have the realization that we had the capacity to destroy ourselves. And really, humans have been tinkering with this. Like, we're going to destroy ourselves, our planet, we're going to fight wars, all these different things. To transcend that, we need to be able to realize the fragility at the same time of what is the impermanence? What is the impermanence of consciousness? And do you see what I'm saying or what I'm talking about?
yeah.
And I think that the losing direction, I mean, we've been in a state of shock for a lot of time. And, I don't understand really the whole universe and how it's all set up, but, the waves, like just the lines are getting thinner, and basically the orientation is we are just here now.
You gave me a very nice idea. I think that I caught now something. I will tell you this is association. It's nothing to take as a ground, but we saw now americium nitricum here in a rubric of disoriented, delusion, disoriented, and disorientation as a symptom. I had a case of physician, and he's a scientist, and he is a nuclear physician. He was in a very high position. And when he came to me, his main problem was coughing, and he was a big smoker. I mean, he smoked 2 packages of cigarettes every day and all the time. And when I looked for the remedies, and I looked from the lanthanoid, actinoids, because this is a personality, a scientist, a nuclear scientist, and there are some other characteristics. And when I came to americium, I saw that americium is a detector for smoke, detector for example, in hotels or in
Yeah, smoke
other.
detector. I see.
So they are working on americium as well. And now I see something very interesting. From one side, when you smoke, I don't know, I don't smoke, but when somebody smokes and everything in a cloud, you lose your direction. And then americium helped us to see the direction. And tobacco, as a Solaniceae, he lose his direction because of panic and fears and anxieties and all this stuff of Solaniceae. He doesn't know where to run because he is overwhelmed with emotions and with emotions with mostly fearful emotions.
Yeah, it's all in the vagus nerve, which is interesting though too, because Native American Indians, the tobacco ceremonies were to find direction and to find
Exactly. So now we can connect this
from that. And I also saw, sorry to interrupt, but I saw the was it cortisinum or cortisone?
Yes.
That, so pineal gland, that's part of the whole adrenaline system. So if your adrenals are off, the same in the Solaninaceae, fear, fight, flight, then you have no directions too. So
absolutely, and we saw cortico and cortisone. We saw in the rubric. We have in the rubric as well. And interesting enough, that caladium as a remedy, there is a rubric as if in smoke, and he doesn't know where to go. So this is very initial plant. This is very from the beginning of the table of the plant. So they doesn't have a direction because they didn't learn before a direction.
Oh, it's a new.
By the way, once I made a work on caladium, and I realized that caladium and tobacco related, and you know by what? There is a very interesting rubric. Bites of mosquitoes. You can find there caladium and tobacco. And what is mosquito? This is a very directed punch. They know where to punch. They have to know where to punch. So we have here a topic about direction and how to see it and how to estimate it. And it's this is a topic to discuss and just to bring to the surface and to understand. But now I realize that during eclipse solaris, you want to help people with northern star to be able not to lose their direction, or to be able to get their sensation of direction back.
Yeah, find their compass, inner compass.
So find the inner compass.
Yes.
And one practical thing, what do you think about potencies? What is the right potency if we want to help somebody to back his direction?
Yeah. So with the potency I used in the water in the singing bowl for the pineal gland was 30. Just a basic low potency, almost, coming like that. Nutritional, we're working with a lot of detox, which is a mechanical, physiological thing. So that it's quite potent anyways, as it is, particularly with all those stones. I haven't delved into fully understanding the homeopathic side of the stones that I've been working with, but at least from the Taoist medicine and the history of, actually this one thing I wish that Hanuman, we're so fragmented. So we've got our calcium and we've got our fluorine and we've got our individual elements, but within the crystalline structure that those elements are formed in actual crystals that are on the planet in their consciousness. Some of them are, you know, in 6s and 4s and different shapes, and that the same element, like silicon oxide, for example, can manifest in multiple different ways. And we've seen through our provings like that. So Colin Griffin's work on some of his stuff. But anyways, that's a side story. So back to potency, and then the crystal grid for the North Star, I used a 1M on that one, and potentially, you know, a 10M could be used too. Because it's, but you have to have the vehicle with which to receive the information. So the 6 women who we did the North Star on the solstice, one of them had horrible dreams. I mean, for me, I was like totally riveted. I'm in direction now. Like I know, you know, I can close my eyes and I always know the way that it is on the planet, you know. And she had dreams, multiple dreams coming, that she was lost on the roadmap and she was going in circles and she couldn't find the way. And then slowly, like the potency was a little high for her, you know. I mean, slowly she had to take it over and over for that direction to become clear for her to go. Yeah.
You know, there are many associations right now. I'm trying to write them, and when we saw Americium nitricum, I thought that nitricum is quite a direction. This is a sign of direction. This is a sign in like we write N, so we see some development, we see some way, we see some road, and we know what is nitricum. Nitricum is to go out from the very close place to the surface. So it's like outburst. This is a Nobel Prize for we know for what why Nobel arranged this prize, and interesting guilty feeling and nitricum. We have to think about it. He invented explosives material against humanity. He brought nitricum to the use of bombarding and killing people. And in Glonine, there is a rubric: lose his direction in the very well-known streets.
Yes, very interesting. The yeah, one of, you know, this is a side note, but the nitrogen is a gas. It basically is trapped in the earth, and its whole life journey is to be liberated. And our experience of eating any nitrogenous foods, i.e. proteins, you know, it's how does that nitrogen work its way through our body in a metabolic way? And if it's trapped, believe me, we have a lot of anger and explosive, you know, this, or gas or something. It's like it's just trying to come out. Yeah, that's a side note.
So I think that we have to let nitricum to go his way, and to give possibilities to other elements to do their job, and to look for our directions. And I hope that these our old and new remedies, where they will be prescribed according to the simple understandable principles, like it's written in Organon, will bring only good stuff for humanity.
Yeah, all of that. Humanity needs some help. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for this short talk, and I hope we will meet from time to time to discuss things.
We will. We have more conversations to be had, Roman. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.